Well, it's a very warm welcome back to second half independent off-tube studio commentary on the game at Ibrox. If you think that we're late, we were ready, but it seems like the 15 minutes at half-time just seems to be stretched by quite a few teams, not just in this competition. We've noticed that in the Premier League as well. Just seems to be a little bit longer for restart, but we are back underway now in this second half. It is Rangers 0, Tottenham 0, and the chances for both teams in the first half. Rangers would have been happy, I think, to have kept Spurs quiet for as long as they did. Spurs would have been frustrated at not being more attack-minded for longer spells, so hopefully we'll see an improvement from the visitors. We'll also see a bit more of an attack mind from Rangers. There has been one change at half-time with Dejan Kulusevski coming on to replace Timo Werner for Spurs. No changes for Rangers, other than that one change enforced during the first half with Leon Balogun coming on for John Souttar after an injury. But yeah, it's all nicely poised for this second half. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Lewis Rafferty taking it. Actually, Lewis, we both predicted this game would be both teams to score, and it's not happened yet. But we're still hopeful that it could still be the case in the second half.
Hopefully that's not the curse of the commentator saying, "Oh, expect loads of goals." At the minimum, we've had chances. It's just that final quality. Kulusevski's come on. That's going to add a lot of quality in the final third. Looks like he's playing off the right of the front three. I think he really thrives in the middle because he's so technical, but sometimes he can get away from his man, can't he? Then the full-back catches him up because he's not the quickest player in the world. But forward come Rangers.
They do. It's a ball across. It's a great ball as well. And out of absolutely nothing, Glasgow Rangers take the lead after just a minute and a half in this second half. Igmane, who's had virtually no service in this game, suddenly gets his one chance, pulls the trigger, and the Rangers take the lead.
I mean, Ibrox absolutely erupts, and what a ball and what a finish. Sometimes we spoke about the final third quality. We spoke about the passes haven't been there. The finishing hasn't been there. What, it's taken 90 seconds for us to finally get something? What a goal that was. And as you say, the man who, as I said, I covered the Rangers game on Sunday, he's got a beautiful goal. Tavernier, again, that's someone who was very quiet in the first half. Lovely ball into the box. I don't know maybe if he's looking for Bajrami originally, maybe over a hit for him, but perfectly for Igmane. Lovely strike, just takes a bounce. First time on the half volley with his weaker left foot. You wouldn't have thought it with the finish. Nothing that Fraser Forster could do there. And now that's the kick and the jolt I think we need for this game. See both teams to score, probably likely now.
Well, as I say, it's going to force Spurs out their shell now. So, say if you were thinking of both teams to score, the fact that the home team have scored after just a minute and a half in the second half means that we're going to have to see more from the visitors now as well. Great form for Igmane as well. That's his fourth goal in his fourth Europa Conference League game this season. Europa League game, I should say, sorry. But in any case, it's a fabulous start here for Rangers in the second half. They would have been frustrated at not taking some of their chances in the first, but they've taken their one and only chance at the start of this second half. And now it's a question of how Spurs respond.
Lovely ball, just lovely ball, lovely hold-up play there by Igmane as well. Sometimes that can be that also, although we need the response from Spurs, and they need to get back in this game. Kulusevski hasn't had a touch, he hasn't had a kick yet, but that also will just give so much confidence to Rangers to, well, let's not sit back. Maybe we'll go get a second, and that'll really push Spurs against it there. And you've got Ibrox behind you. It's one of the better atmospheres in Europe when it really gets going. It's going to be difficult for Spurs, but at the same time, if Rangers continue to play the same way they are, Spurs will get chances. It's just once again, can they get the quality to them?
Well, in the meantime, Rangers have gone on the attack again. It's a ball over from the left-hand side. Tavernier hits it first time across the penalty area. It's quickly swept it clear into midfield, but Rangers mop up the loose ball. It's Raskin now in midfield, just playing it square towards Balogun. And he holds it up going back towards Nicholas. Just to remind you the two teams very quickly, whilst we do get a break in play, it's Udogie who puts it out for a throw. Jack Butland in goal for Rangers, the back four of James Tavernier, Leon Balogun who came on for John Souttar, Robin Proper and Radvan Yilmaz. Holding midfielders Nicholas Raskin and Nedim Bayrami. The three ahead of them are Václav Černý, Mohamed Diamande and Hefte, with Hamza Igmane, the goal scorer. Up front for Rangers. For Spurs, Fraser Forster in goal, a back four of Pedro Porro, Archie Gray, Radu Dragusin and Destiny Udogie. Yves Bissouma and Rodrigo Bentancur in the holder midfielders, the three ahead of them, Brennan Johnson, James Maddison and now Dejan Kulusevski, who came on for Werner at half-time, and up front it is Heung-min Son. But since that goal for Rangers, they're the ones on the attack again. It's with Černý now down the right-hand side. He does have an overlap, but he goes alone. He goes for goal, which isn't the right option. He actually gets a decent amount of power on that one. It swerves towards goal, but it's an easy one for Forster.
It is. I mean, as you say, it's a wrong option, but I think that just shows the confidence that's flowing through this Rangers side right now. And again, it's one of them easy save. He should have been looking for a teammate. But there's always a chance there that as that bobbles up to Forster, maybe that bobbles, he mistimes his save and somehow trickles in the back of the net, and you're looking at 2-0, and maybe that really is a shell shock for Spurs. And Again, right now, they're on the ball, but they really could be their own worst enemy, forced to clears it away, because that was a good high press from Rangers, putting him under pressure. And because you've got Son up top, we said this in the first half, Solanke is that target man that if you're in trouble, you can just lump it up to him. Right, big fella up top, you do the rest. You don't have that with Son, he's more of that technical player. So I won't be surprised if Solanke comes on, but here come Rangers.
Well, they do again, they win the ball back again in midfield, and it's a ball in from Czerny. That played across the 6-yard box by Bayrami. Igmane just worrying about the offside, didn't push too far forward. Spurs clear their lines, but Rangers come back straight away. It's Tavernier's ball. It's overhit this time, though, from the Rangers captain, and that swerves away and out for a goal kick. But what a response this from Rangers. They've scored, and Spurs have barely had a touch in the opposition half since then.
Yeah, it's nice to see, because I think sometimes, a lot of times, especially in big games, in European games, in the Premier League, anywhere you want to look, a team takes a lead and they almost instantly sit back and let the other team grow in confidence, get on the ball, knock it around. Rangers are doing what I think you should do, try and get the second to really kill off the game. Yes, if they're 1-0 up in the 80th minute, yes, sit back, I understand that, trying to see a game out. But you've got 40 minutes to go. You could go 1-0 up, drop back, let Spurs get back in it. Spurs get all the momentum, Spurs win 2-1, 3-1 kind of thing. And we see that happen a lot, especially in the Premier League. Whereas Rangers, it's really positive to see. Spurs are going to have their momentum in this game, but Rangers are looking really good. But here comes Kulusevski.
Yeah, he gets a ball from Pedro Porro down the right-hand side. He tries to get away from his man. That's really good work, though, in defence there from Robin Proper. Didn't dive in, just held firm and is able to shield the ball away. And now Rangers can go on the counter. Is Yilmaz down the left-hand side. He's over the halfway line. He's being caught here by Bentancur and needs to get rid of the ball. He does so. He gets it away to Czerny, who's breaking into the area from the right-hand side. Czerny onto his right, back onto his left. He goes for goal. Oh, he's just charged down by Dragusin. It seemed like he sort of moved his body enough to get a clear shot at goal, and just at that split second he gets closed down. But Dragusin's clearance goes straight to Diamande, and here come Rangers again. Bayrami into the box. He gets stopped this time, and Udogi's under pressure from Czerny, and he goes back towards Forster, who's being closed down as well by the goal scorer Igmane, and he clears it towards the halfway line. But this is relentless from Rangers right now.
It really is, isn't it? And that was lovely from Czerny. We've seen that a few times in the first half as well from the Rangers winger. It was a good opportunity, and it was just one of them again where so good, and then just couldn't really finish it off. Hefty coming forward. Rangers are flying right now.
They are. Hefty's ball into the box. That's good work though from Dragusin. He stops the cross just at the edge of the 6-yard box and then gets the ball into Bentancur, who then rolls it out towards Pedro Porro, and him and Kulusevski can now get the ball away for Spurs. But it's played back into Bissouma, who's getting into some real trouble there. He just about gets the ball to Son, but Son's ball back has been picked off here by Hefty, and say Spurs all over the place right now. If you could have a timeout in football, then I think Postecoglou will be calling one.
Yeah, I think he'd be calling several as well. Probably call one, then go back out. We're like, yeah, we need another one to call. Ball looking for Czerny. If not for a good tackle and interception from Dragusin there, it's looking like it's there for Rangers. But again, unfortunately, if they maybe don't get this second goal that could rue that, and Spurs are coming forward again.
They are. Madison finding Bentancur, who's got plenty of running. He gets to the edge of the area. He was brought down. Referee plays the advantage, and it goes towards Brennan Johnson, whose effort is over the bar. Real grimace on the face there of the Welsh international Johnson, because he knows, although he wasn't right in front of goal, he's still at the edge of the area. It's a decent chance. He doesn't actually get that close to goal in the end.
No, it looked a little bit closer from live. I think they're watching it in game compared to what it was. It was also an awkward angle. He was almost turning, wasn't it? When you're walking onto that, you want to open up your body and almost pass it in the back of the net. He's turning and having to torque his body. It's a really awkward one, unfortunately, for Johnson, who's been in some fine form this season, hasn't he? So it's not fallen to the wrong player at all. It was a good ball from Kulusevski. Good build-up from Spurs. But again, just seemingly that the Rangers are still on top and are going to create chances. Solanke warming up, and again, maybe to a degree, none of the forward players for Spurs. It's just, who do you take off for him, really?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, you put Solanke on, but so what? If Spurs are going to play the same way as they're playing now, Solanke's not going to see any of the ball in the same way that Son isn't. And if anything, Son will actually drift and will fall a little bit deeper into the field, whereas somebody like Solanke will expect more of a service. So, if anything, I just wonder whether it's the right move now. But Spurs trying to press a little bit higher up the field. Now, a Rangers clearance only goes as far as Bissouma. He goes out towards Johnson, who is on the left-hand side now after Kulusevski came on, and he's on the right. Spurs in possession here on the halfway line. Archie Gray down towards Pedro Porro on the right-hand side. Here is Dejan Kulusevski now running straight into Hefty, though. He's dispossessed, but Bentancur still keeping the ball alive for Tottenham. Down the right-hand side now is Pedro Porro. Back to Dragusin. Looking up, but Rangers are not playing too high an offside line. giving Spurs the space, but now Spurs give it away in midfield, and all of a sudden it's Spurs who are playing a high line, and they can be punished here as Igmane brings the ball forward. He switches over towards Czerny. Czerny needs some support, gets it onto his left foot. Now it's Bayrami back to Igmane. Igmane wants it onto his right. He goes for goal. It's charged down by Pedro Porro. But Igmane will keep it in play for Rangers down the left-hand side. I think he was hoping it would go out for a throw, but the ball just stops in its tracks. He's going to have to do something with it himself now. Igmane plays it back towards Bayrami, who's under pressure there from Benson Kirby, does really well to hold the ball up and plays it back towards the halfway line. But that, in a nice little split second there, we saw exactly what the problem was, that when Rangers sit back, they sit back and allow Spurs the space, but then Spurs give the ball away, and all of a sudden Rangers had all of Spurs' half to work with.
Yeah, and again, as we said in the first half, when you've got the pace of a Van der Ven and Romero, you take that risk, but you take that risk knowing that players can get back. Dragisson is no slow coach, but Archie Gray isn't really blessed with pace. But they're opening up again, the Rangers.
They've lost it again here, Spurs. Here come Rangers down the right. It's Czerny's ball in, charged down by Brennan Johnson, who's having to cover at the edge of his own area now. And it's a corner kick to Rangers. We're at 56 minutes in this game. It's pretty much bang on 10 minutes since Rangers took the lead. And then since then, Spurs have had one effort off target from Brennan Johnson and a couple of half chances stopped in midfield, and that's been about it really from Spurs, whereas Rangers have got forward. They've had a couple of efforts on goal. They've picked off possession a couple of times as well. And they've got this corner kick now from the right-hand side. Czerny with his arm up. Is he going to be whipping this one in straight away? There's Kulusevski's there to try and stop a short corner. It's played to Tavernier. Back to Czerny now. He wants to go for the cross. No, there's an overlap by Rami into the 6-yard box. It's not a bad idea, but Forster is down, and he makes the save just before Igmane gets there.
Again, lovely play from Rangers. Sometimes I think taking corner shot was so infuriating.
Oh, well,
that's infuriating.
Straight away, Forster here. His throw to Johnson is picked off by Czerny. It's a cross from the right-hand side from Bayrami, which is overhit, but it will be kept alive on the left here by Hefte. His ball comes in. It's headed away by Bissouma. It drops to Diamande. It takes a deflection, and it goes just wide. But Spurs all over the shop at the moment. They initially stopped the threat from the corner. Forster then bowls it out to Johnson, who gets dispossessed, and Rangers with another chance.
Just, as you said, just all over the place Rangers. And as I'm saying about something that can be infuriating with those short corners and they never work out, it did that time. What's infuriating right now for these Spurs fans, Spurs supporters, is how easily Rangers are just they're not just getting the ball, they're getting it with ease out there when they tackle. They're winning every tackle, they're winning every second ball. Spurs right now, like you said, I don't know if they need the timeout. They might need the white flag to throw in to a degree.
Absolutely. Well, they certainly can't afford to concede again here, Spurs. The referee just stopping things before this corner kick is taken. The standard, the fare of the referee telling two players, one from either side, calm down, boys, don't push too much. Both players agreeing with the referee before going back and pushing and shoving exactly like they were before anyway. But here comes the ball now, whipped in, edge of the 6-yard box, headed up in the air by Archie Gray, out for another corner. A couple of the Rangers players asking the question. I don't know if they were appealing at some sort of hold inside the penalty area as well, but it's just going to be a corner.
It was good delivery from Tavernier. He's a really good dead ball specialist as well, whether it's from a corner or a free kick, and they've got some big bodies up there of half Rangers. They've got to give credit to Balogun. He's come on and replaced Souterrain. It's as if nothing's happened. Rangers doing well. Corner to be worked in by Tavernier.
Yes, coming in from that left-hand side. Good strong header away there by Benson Kurd. Just about kept alive there by Bayrami. Bayrami now leaves the ball here for Czerny. It's back to Tavernier, who's still on the left after that corner. His ball into the box. It was a teasing one. Robin Proper was close by, but so is the goalkeeper there. Fraser Forster makes an easy save and then bowls it out a lot more sensibly this time to Pedro Porro. Doesn't waste any time. He plays the long ball over the top, looking for... Oh, I tell you what, Kulusevski was charging down at the edge of the area. Hefte, I don't know, he's put his side into trouble 2 or 3 times this evening, the Brazilian. I mean, he's heading the ball back towards Butland, who's already waiting to claim that even without Hefte's header.
Yeah, he was already on his way, wasn't he? And if you're going to head it back to Butland, you've got to at least head it into his path and just say to him, look, I was trying to get it to you quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas there, he almost puts it past him, doesn't he? Once again, lovely ball to Czerny, and one pass, they've opened up, but that's good defending from Udogie. This might be a chance now for Spurs.
Yeah, Udogie wins the ball back here for Spurs. What I liked about that last move there was, I'll tell you, I'll finish that in a second. Spurs are on the attack. Udogie's gone on the overlap. He's gotten the ball back here down the left-hand side now, being marked all the way by Raskin, who then deflects that ball out, and it will be a corner kick to Tottenham. I was just saying that it's very rare that you can broadcast what you lip read from a footballer's mouth, because they tend to just swear at each other all the time. But on that occasion, I could actually tell that Butler was just telling Hefty, look, it was my ball. It was my ball. And you can see the goalkeeper was just trying to communicate that to his Brazilian teammate, because Hefty very nearly put his side under real pressure. Spurs are going to make a triple change here now. Pape Sarr, Lucas Bergvall and Dominic Solanke are all getting ready to come on, and the 3 players getting the hook are going to be Brennan Johnson. Wait to see if it's going to be Heung-min Son as well. Just confirmation that it's Johnson going off. Solanke's being marked as the player that's coming on for him. Rodrigo Bentancur is coming off. I would have guessed that that's Pape Sarr coming on to replace him. And Destiny Udogie off to be replaced by Bergvall. So is this Spurs going to 3 at the back potentially?
Potentially. You're just looking at how it might play out. You've got obviously Archie Gray still there. You've got Radu Dragusin. I'm sure Sarr could possibly drop in there as well. Again, maybe it just gives Rangers something to think about. Maybe a more solid base for Spurs to build up on. They do have this set piece, so there's an opportunity still. And whilst it's 1-0, Spurs will still have a little bit of confidence.
Ball coming in now. A goalkeeper, Butler, does well to punch it clear. Bergvall goes for goal. It would have been an amazing substitution there. Lucas Bergvall off the bench, hitting his first touch, I mean, literally 2 or 3 seconds after being on the field, but his effort just bouncing wide, and in the end it was a couple of yards wide, so no real worries there for Jack Butland. But the fact that he's made a triple change here with half an hour to go tells you that, it's stating the obvious really, but Postecoglou knows that his side have a lot to do, so he's got to give them as much time as possible to do it. Yeah,
and I think that's the problem, isn't it, sometimes when you're making substitution, is how late. I mean, right now it's obvious and changes are needed, I'm not trying to say that, but sometimes in games you can see it, can't you, where it's like, say this was 0-0 or 1-1, you go, how long do I keep my players on? Because then that's less time for the other players to come on and make an impact. If you come on in the 75th minute, you've got only 15 minutes added time. But like I say, they've got half an hour plus now to grow into the game, get on the ball, have a bit of comfort around it, and then coming away and possibly get back into it. Sarr's already giving away a free kick, though.
Yeah, so has given away a free kick. I mean, I think he's a little bit unlucky in terms of... I mean, there's enough contact there with Yildiz to say it's a foul, but then at the same time... I do think that Yildiz makes the most of that. I didn't think there was that much contact with his face as he was suggesting. It will be Nicholas Raskin take the free kick. He takes it short, goes back towards Robin Proper. Proper down the left-hand side now, finding Hefte. That's another poor pass, and it's blocked off here by Sarr. And Spurs can go on the attack now, but Diamande is there to cover. And I tell you what, if Rangers are thinking of making a change, maybe their Brazilian left winger might have to go off.
Yeah, unfortunately, still coming forward. He's doing very well, but as you say, almost Spurs-esque so far. A lot of players are losing the ball and losing their head sometimes in the game. As Bergvall there, that's a poor pass. Sarr's got to do better. Here come Rangers.
They do. Rangers going forward now with goal. Oh, Igmane just couldn't quite get away from Bergvall. He does well to actually cover, having lost the ball initially. Spurs now pushing forward down the right. That's a lovely little bit of link up there between Kulusevski and Pedro Porro. There is Porro's ball across. Tavernier just about gets enough on that. He can't clear it, but he actually deflects the ball onto Heung-min Son. Son now trying to get past Tavernier, but Tavernier just about doing enough with his body whilst not committing a foul, using the help of Diamande there. And Rangers, well, they're playing out from the back at the edge of their own box. So really bad decision there. The referee giving an advantage. He's deciding that it's going to be a free kick to Spurs anyway. Controversial there potentially, because I thought that advantage had lasted long enough anyway, but it's a grey area in football. No one can tell me how long an advantage lasts after the referee says play on. So, yeah, I mean, it's a clumsy one there at the edge of the area from Raskin. The ball gets away from him. And then arguably you could say that Maddison runs into him, but Maddison had the ball in that case.
Yeah, I think that's probably why it's gone the way of the Englishman as well. Good decision by the referee. The contact started as well, just on the edge of the area. Sometimes you can see it because Maddison goes into the box with the foul. Sometimes you go, is that a penalty? But spot on from the referee, great decision. And it's a free kick, but we know how good Maddison can be from free kick. So this could be the opening that Spurs need to get back on equal footing. And let's see where we go. Or can Rangers keep them out and keep the score at 1-0?
Well, it's a glorious chance, this to Spurs. They really have struggled to create anything from open play in this game, especially in this second half. And now they've got a free kick less than a couple of yards away from the edge of the area. Perfect opportunity this. It's on the left-hand side. It favours the right foot. So James Maddison is stepping up. It's a short one to Kulusevski. Then it's back to Maddison, who sends it a long way over the bar. I just think that from where they were that close to the edge of the area. I just think it needed more of a delicate curling effort, really, from a standing free kick rather than a layoff, because by the time Maddison gets the ball back, he's been closed down and he's got very little of a goal to aim at.
Yeah, I don't understand what they've done there. I do, but then as you say, I agree with you, is because the problem is you might be getting a better position, but you've got a more awkward angle because, as you said, you've got, 4 or 5 Rangers players running at you, so you're almost taking a snapshot at it, whereas at least with the free kick, yes, it's not as good of a position, and it is a dead ball. It's not a moving, quick ball. It's got some maybe pace on it. But as you say, you've maybe got more time to hit that curler into the top corner, whereas there it's going to be powerful because you've got players hunting you down, and I just think that's the wrong decision. I think that's overdoing it and overthinking it there from Maddison.
Yeah, potentially I think he just needed to try and get his foot round that first time, but the chance has been and gone, and Spurs almost giving it away inside their own half. They have given it away inside their own half. The initial ball that Cherney went for has been stopped, but now Diamande gets a second chance. Cherney into the box, and I'll tell you what, Dragusin using all the rules of football there in terms of body contact. It's never a foul, it's never a penalty, no chance, but there was just enough contact there from Dragusin just to make sure that Cherney couldn't finish the move off.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? As you say, no one near a penalty, no one near a foul, but it's one of them where maybe a little bit more forceful, and then you're looking at, maybe Cherney could have gone down, maybe con the referee into that. Lovely ball from Son, here comes Spurs.
They do, with Doggy at the edge of the area, just been marshalled here by Diamande. Still holding it up for Spurs, does really well to find Maddison, who now breaks into the box on the left-hand side, puts a cross, it's not, it's missed by Solanke. It goes across here from Pedro Porro, his effort is charged down. It's now with Kulusevski at the edge of the area. He flicks the ball back into the box for Gwen Min Son. It's headed away by Tavernier, and Tavernier actually follows that ball out himself, and then clears it up towards the halfway line, where it's taken down here by Igamane. Igamane couldn't control it though, couldn't hold it up for a teammate. Spurs now have it back. You can see there's just a slight level of urgency has increased here with Spurs now in the last few minutes.
It really has, hasn't it? And maybe that's to do with the subs, maybe that's to do with some actions that Postecoglou said, like, right, we need to go. But they're looking a lot better. It's just one of them. Why is it maybe taking this long to up the intensity from the start? Rangers have looked there, they've looked hungry. Whereas Spurs, again, looking very Spurs in the sense that what's going to turn up with Postecoglou? With old managers, Conte, you know to a degree what Spurs were going to show up. With Mourinho, you did. With Pochettino, you did. With Postecoglou, it's either one of the best sides in Europe or a side where you go, how are they pushing for Champions League football?
No, it's true. I mean, the Jekyll and Hyde of Spurs really is quite something in terms of how they actually would go from being a superb team to being such an ordinary team in the space of just a few days sometimes. Rangers getting ready to make a double change here. It looks like they're getting ready to bring on Barron, and they're also getting ready to bring on Sterling as well. So a double change here for Rangers. Sterling and Barron getting ready to come on. But in the meantime, Spurs have won themselves a corner. It was Solanke deflecting the ball out to right by the corner flag. It's Kulusevski's high hanging ball, which is over the head of Dragusin, and then it just drops kindly to Tavernier, who then plays the ball out. And suddenly, Spurs can be caught on the counter. Here comes Yildiz again, going through the middle. He gets stopped by Dragusin. It will be a yellow card, but that's the kind of yellow card that Dragusin will take all day long, because he stopped a counter attack still in the opposition half.
Yeah, it was a counter-attack, but as you said, didn't really get too dangerous to maybe warrant anything more. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I think Yilmaz as well probably quite happy to go down. I know the counter-attack's on, but when you've got a defender breathing down your neck, you're probably quite happy to go, you know what, I'll take the yellow card, and I'll take the set piece, we can get back on the ball. Rangers are going to make a change in the game. Won't be their first after Souter was forced off injured. Badrami will be the first player to come on. I believe Barron is on in his place, number 8. So fresh legs for the hosts.
Absolutely, yes. So number 8's coming on here is going to be Connor Barron, and Václav Černý, he's coming off as well. He's put in a shift. He has put in a real shift this evening on that right-hand side. It's going to be Dujon Sterling to come on in his place.
Good opportunity, I think, for again, just fresh legs, really, isn't it? That Spurs have done it. You can see Kulusevski's already added something, but Val's already added something, and just a bit more intensity as well, to a degree, because you want to keep it quite high. Yes, you're winning, but you need to keep on going. That's lovely. A chance maybe now. Ball's overhit. Maybe still a chance for Yildiz.
Well, it might still drop for him here. It does, in fact, but he's still been marshalled there by 2 Spurs defenders. And Pedro Porro in the end gets the telling deflection, and he can then play it back to Fraser Forster. But Porro now played into some real trouble here down that right-hand side. He just about gets the ball away towards Kulusevski. Gray now back towards his goalkeeper. Goalkeeper back to Gray, and Gray does well to control that one. It's slightly more elevated there from Forster before a clearance up towards the halfway line. We're over the three-quarter mark in the game. 69 minutes gone now. It is Rangers 1 at Tottenham 0, and it will be Lewis take us through to full time.
Thank you very much. Game, we said it in the first half, but expectations very much living up to it. I do think Spurs are not counting down until they can get a goal. I think they'll be counting down until they can get a real top-notch chance. But Rangers, again, they've just seemed like they wanted it a little bit more to me this evening so far. Long throw-in taken, and fall for Kulusevski. Again, he's playing on the right side of that front three. Solanke through the middle. It looks like Son on the left. Just maybe, I don't know, I think in the middle he's a lot more better. He's a lot more influential in the middle. He always looked like a good player out on the wing, and then Postecoglou's played him almost, him and Maddison, with Basuma as our only sitter. It's worked absolute wonders at times for Spurs, and at other times it's looked where they can't even make a a 2 or 3 yard pass. They do have the ball though now. Back to the goalkeeper. Cleared away. Headed well by Balogun. Picked up though by Sarr. Out to Son on the left hand side. Fancy feet work there from the Spurs captain. Gets away from his man. Into Bergvall. Just joined the 70 minutes have been played as independent off Tube Studio commentary of this Europa League clash at Ibrox. It's Rangers hosting Spurs. As Rangers will have the lead for a lovely goal after around 90 seconds in the second half. Tavernier, a lovely ball into the box, in on the half volley. And that's been the difference maker. Spurs are knocking around well. And substitutes have made it a lot more of a higher tempo and continued to keep that going. As quickly as it has gone out for a throw-in. Apologies for Rangers on the right hand side. Quickly look at elsewhere. TNS, they're losing 2-0 to Panathinaikos. Another game you can catch on this service. Shamrock Rovers are leading 3-0. Another game on this service. Kent, 3 goals to the good. And in the Europa League, Lazio are winning against Ajax again. Bodo Glimt are leading 2-1 against Besiktas. Porto have doubled their lead, 2-0 at home to Midtjylland. 3-1. Lyon are beating Frankfurt. Maccabi Tel Aviv have had a deferred. They're winning 3-1. Real Sociedad 3-0 for home victory against Dynamo Kiev. That could be quite important there. And Anderlecht are beating Slavia Prague 2-1. Rangers have the ball with Hefty on the left hand side. He's got his teammate further forward. He's going to go alone. Don't really blame him. He's had a fantastic game. Hefty again there. I think he has summed up the game for me. What an attacking piece of play he's had chances, and then defensively he's been so frail.
Yeah, it's been a funny sort of game really, in terms of how Rangers started so well in the second half, got that early goal, then they've been under pressure from Spurs since then, but really there's still something lacking from Spurs in terms of that attacking intent. I'm still struggling to see that kind of sort of flow that we saw in that fabulous win against Manchester City, for example. They're just lacking something this evening, and Bergvall there with a strong challenge. That's going to be a booking as well for the young Swede. He felt as though he was brought down himself there, but the referees decided that he's actually gone through on Raskin, and Bergvall with the yellow card.
Yeah, he's going to watch it back, see how it is, and it's one of them. He's reaching for the ball, but that doesn't mean he doesn't take him out and take him down. I think it's an unlucky one, but again, it's a yellow card. He's maybe because that's his first tackle, and foul, I should say. Sorry, maybe looking up. I don't know if that's a yellow card. That's a yellow card tackle though for the player. And Raskin is back up to his feet. He was the man who got the studs. And again, Rangers right now, the longer the game goes on, I think the more confidence Tottenham will have that it's only one goal. But at that very same time, I think Rangers will say, go, we can just frustrate you again and make sure we come away with all 3 points. It would be 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, blah, blah, blah. Right now, 1-0. We just need to hold on to this.
Yes, they do. And I mean, you can see the Rangers are trying to hold on to it because they're being told off it by the referee for how long it's taking them to get this free kick. And just to say as well, there's been a bit of an error in terms of what we were shown on our screen initially. Destiny Udogie is still very much on the field. It's actually Yves Bissouma that's gone off to be replaced by Bergvall and Sarr and Solanke, who came on as well. So Udogie's still very much on the field. I say apologies for that, but it was what we were shown at the time. I think it might have been a little bit quick from the TV director himself.
Yeah, first when we both saw that, I was like, that's quite surprising, taking Udogie off. A really good player who can bob into centre midfield, who can bob a little bit further forward, but that is Paul for confirmation that now we do all know, and won't be surprised when we see Udogie do something in the forward path for Spurs. 73.5 minutes on the clock. The Rangers, a bit of defending to do. Bergvall plays it back and trying to just maybe pick up those scraps that any of the Spurs players do give them. Again, they're playing it from the back, and I think, as you said, what Archie Gray does give is fantastic passing ability for the player playing at your centre back. It's just, if I was Igman or anyone else who's come up or going to face Rangers this season, if that's going to stay the same, I've just been up against him. Spurs do have the ball though on the right side. He's been quite quiet since coming on as Pape Matar Sarr. Bergvall's seen a lot of the ball. Madison's dropping deeper, and I think you can see that's not a sign of frustration, but yet Son's yet to drop deep. That's when I see him get a bit frustrated. So he's on the left-hand side, but even when he's on the left-hand side, you can see he wants to get involved in the game. And I think, unfortunately, for Kulusevski's not being involved, but again, he's so far out wide, he's isolated to a degree. He
is. I mean, Spurs are seeing plenty of the ball now, but the trouble is it's all being done on the halfway line with their centre-backs exchanging passes, and You mentioned there that Son's having to drop deeper. Kulusevski's gone a little bit too far out wide as well. But now Spurs do have a chance down that right-hand side.
Ball played through into Solanke, plays it back into Madison. He leaves
Penalty.
it for Kulusevski to run, but he's put it in the back of the net, as does Swede, and Spurs are level. Lovely piece of play. Madison was taken down. I'm going to assume the referee was going to give a penalty. He let advantage play. Lovely finish from the substitute Kulusevski. We have had both teams to score. That's coming. 75 minutes on the clock. We are one apiece. And now, would you think the momentum is with Spurs? I know they're going to get behind the team at Ibrox, but right now there's a pendulum swing to the away side.
Yeah, I mean, Spurs have been on the front for some time, although they've struggled to create clear-cut chances. They just finally get enough of an overlap inside that penalty area, and yeah, that would have nailed on penalty, I think, on Madison. If that isn't scored by Kulusevski, the referee is giving a penalty to Spurs anyway, but he allows play to go on, and seconds later, it's a really smart left-footed finish there from the Swedish international.
It's one apiece now. Nothing Butland could do about that in goal. Now another long ball forward for Mane, headed away by Archie Gray. Kulusevski substitute on at half-time, first goal of the season in the Europa League. It's been so important for Spurs. Quickly, just to have a look at what that does to the league table. Of course, on live games, and we've got quite a while to go so far, but currently Lazio winning 2-1 away to Ajax. That can be a massive result for the Italians. They are currently top. Look at the two teams here. Rangers because of the points, of course, and Tottenham because of the points. They will remain 8th and 9th. 6 games played apiece. 3-1 apiece, 2 drawn apiece, 1 defeat apiece. It's just 2 extra goals for Rangers. The bonus right now. But Spurs, of course, there's a lot of football to be played here. 76.5 minutes in. Rolled out to Archie Gray. And you said it earlier, I think the biggest bonus of Archie Gray is that you're playing a defensive midfielder, box-to-box midfielder as a centre-back. But what that brings is that ball playing ability, calm, cool on the ball. He's a youngster, but it almost adds an extra midfielder just a little bit deeper.
It does. When it's going well for Spurs in a game like this, where they're seeing more of the ball and Rangers aren't attacking them, that's where having Gray in your defensive line really makes sense, because he is an additional midfielder. It's when Spurs are under constant pressure, that's when he can be exposed, because he's not really the best defender.
Spurs have it with Dragusin. Just to put it out to the right to his teammate Madison, into Son. And Spurs are just trying to heat it up a little bit. Son tries to take his man on, he's dispossessed. It's a counter-attack on, and Spurs win the ball back. Now they lose it, and then Rangers lose it. No one can keep their foot on the ball. Bergvall, he goes back into Malacia. Just looking for options. Rangers are defending very well here. Into the middle of the pitch to Sarr, out wide on the right-hand side. The goal that could take them in front right now. Spurs, and again right now, I think you've said it earlier, if you'd just given Rangers apologies a 0-0, you're probably taking that. I think they'd be taking it a 1-1 right now. I'll bring Paul in a second as Hayday come do the horse out to the right hand side to Sterling. Half decent cross into the back post. Instead of being able to keep it alive, it's put out of play, and it's an unfortunate ending there. But again, to bring it back, you took the lead, yes, they pegged you back, but you tried to get a second goal. 1-1, if it finished out after 90 minutes, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for the hosts.
No, it wouldn't. As I say, I think they would take a draw before the game starts. I think, considering how well they started the second half, they would have been frustrated that they weren't able to hold on to that lead. But Spurs really were starting to turn up the tempo. Mane now is down, and it could be a problem here for Rangers. It looks like their goal scorer might have to go off.
So it's on his right knee, right hamstring area. Will be a substitute for.
Yeah, it's going to be Cyril Dessers to come on, of course. So his Rangers as out-and-out number 9. If anything, he would have been hoping to get a start this evening, but being saved for the league games coming up. As you mentioned, of course, very busy Christmas, New Year schedule, but Des is ready to come on now for Mane.
It's an opportunity for the forward to come on, and Mane scored that lovely goal, as we said, to live up to for the forward. Des is coming in, and when I've watched him again, not to use a word that everyone frustrates me, but because you can see there's such a good player in there, whether it's his finish and his link-up play, there's such a good player in there, and then you look at him and go, well, why have you done that? He can be frustrated, but then sometimes he can just put the ball on the back and you go, well, that's why you are who you are.
Absolutely. So Yilmaz, Redman Yilmaz is going to be going off here as well. He's going to be replaced here by Fraser towards the end. So Robbie Fraser coming on here for Yilmaz, and the Dessers coming on here for Igamane.
It will be an opportunity as well, won't it, for just some fresh legs now. Just about 10 minutes to go. I can see you've got a few minutes of added time as well. We've had stoppages, we've had 2 goals as well. Spurs look to play it along to Kulusevski down the right-hand side. It's been cleared by Rangers, it has, and now Solanke, he's had a little bit of presence in the box. Lovely ball over the top to Kulusevski. Going to keep it in play. He can take a deflection off of Hefty for a corner. And again, just because we spoke about it, didn't we? Son's, he's a fantastic player, has been for a long time. But Solanke just almost adds that presence of, regardless of where he is, you almost know you can just boot up to any time and get out of a situation.
Son's a more technical player, but Solanke is your out and out forward, where you have to worry about him at crosses, you have to worry about him being able to physically muscle you in terms of a chance in the box. But a good opportunity now for Spurs with this out swinging corner.
Will be into the box, headed away though, falls for Bergvall on the edge of the area. The referee had already blown for a foul inside the area. We'll say the corners are racking up for Spurs, or at least it does feel like they are. Just give you an update on what we've got. Big chances, a lot of big chances there. Corner kick 6-6. So probably haven't been as control as I thought.
Spurs haven't had as many before, so they've sort of added up a little bit now towards the end of the game. But yeah, with 9 minutes to go plus injury time, I mean, it's been a while since Rangers have had Spurs under any kind of real pressure. But just saying that, though, Diamande has just won the ball back. Spurs said he can't sit back too deep here because Rangers will still be trying to go for it.
They will, won't they, Diamande? That's lovely feet there. Tries to play it down the left-hand side. Will the cross be able to come in? It does. Into the middle, looking for Dessers. His first touch could have been a headed goal or a tap in there. Goalkeeper Forster takes it too quickly. Easily taken though. And Spurs come away with the ball. Minutes plus the stoppage time to go. Bergvall, he's come on. He's been very good as well as the midfielder. Kulusevski really running the show on that right hand side now. Feel maybe a bit for whoever's on the left hand side. Getting a bit lonely and cold over there round about now. Spurs still on the ball, knocking it around. And this is what they needed, didn't they? They needed this 20 minutes ago. They need it now is to almost, I think I said in the first half, if a chance arises, right, we'll go for it. If not, we're happy for 3 or 4 minutes to just knock it around and take this game away from you.
That's right. I think that's we'll just bring off that because Spurs are on the attack now here with a good ball in towards Solanke. Solanke back into the penalty area. His strike, though, is charged down.
If Solanke could have got a clean strike off on that, you would have expected him to put that in the back of the net, and it would have been Rangers. Would have been Rangers who were down after taking the lead. Of course, it was a lovely goal. 90 seconds into the second half. Lovely ball from Tavernier over the top. Might have been for a teammate, but it fell for Igamane on the half volley with his weaker left foot. Lovely finish into the back of the net. And Spurs should have had a penalty, but instead of Madison going down and being given that, the back post to put it in. And we are 1 apiece. Spurs back into it. On the ball. To the right hand side. To Johnston, back out to the middle. It's a little bit silly there from Dessers. There's no need. They're trying to take it quickly to Spurs, and I think it's either you've taken it too quickly to go back, or you've taken it quickly. That's fine. And Kulusevski's gone down, and it's another free kick for game which you have to deal with. I think it's more on the occasion that he doesn't want that. 83.5 minutes though, and it's a set piece opportunity. It's one of them, isn't it? It's a decent opportunity to put a ball in the box as Madison takes it quickly into the middle, looking for the head of Dragusin. Headed away. I think there's a player down.
Yeah, there'll be a head injury here. Yeah, the referee just stopping play. I'm not even sure if he gave a free kick there or not. It may be a drop ball after all of this, but there's a player down. I'm going to have to make sure that everything's fine. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's any kind of cut there on Balogun's head, but he still needs to be checked over.
That'd be obviously concussions are taken fantastically care of now, but you also just see the players. It's a lovely ball in Dragusin. Just see it from a mile away, can't you? Unfortunately, you just hear the sickening foot almost to a degree. Quickly, just going to see those goals back. But fantastic goals in their own right. Lovely ball as well. I would say that whatever Rangers are playing, 4-4-2, 4-4-3, the wing backs to me are the most vital and important player for this side.
Oh, they are. I think that they cover so much ground, don't they, in terms of teams are quite loath to sort of name an out-and-out attacking winger these days, so you're sort of expecting that left back and the left-sided midfielder to do so much of that work now to try and bomb forwards and get back as well, of course.
Balogun is back up to his feet. That's good to see. Assume he'll just be off the field for a few minutes, but Rangers do have the free kick. inside their own penalty area, close to a goal kick. Butland will take. Again, I think Rangers would probably have been in your arm off for a draw at the end of this game. Dessers, that's a lovely touch. That's an even better one. He's still going. Cyril Dessers. He's had a save from Forster, because what a save it is. If it is, he's looking at his teammates going, what are you doing? Keep your mind, keep your head. Cyril Dessers, what a piece of play. Rangers, I thought that was for all the word. They were going to take the lead.
Superb there from Dessers. He wins the header, but he gets the ball out after the header was won in midfield. He skips past Gray, sets himself onto his left foot, and forced a last-ditch save there from the Tottenham keeper to keep the score at 1-1.
Was, to me, quite Dennis Bergkamp-esque, with just the big man who's got a fantastic touch there, but they still have the momentum. Tavernier will put this in as an outswinger. Dessers, of course, has a bit more height than a Gamali as well from set pieces. Again, just as you said earlier, Paul, referees will have a word. Look, boys, no pushing and shoving. Yes, no worry, Mr. Referee. Yeah, we're going to do exactly the same thing after you've left the penalty area.
A second later, absolutely. But here comes the corner now from Tavernier.
Tavernier whips one in. It's into a decent area, but there was no one there. Headed away by Solanke, and if they're not careful here, that's really good defending. There could have been a counter-attack on there for Spurs. Tavernier plays it to Dessers. I don't think he was really wanting the ball down into the channel there. He does whip a decent ball out to the left-hand side. Diamande, further left to... As good as a good ball into the box. Dessers at the back post, and Dessers was denied by Fraser Forster just a moment ago. We've got to look for the flag. It has gone up, and he might have been denied by Fraser Forster now by the linesman. Lovely ball in. I think the question is Dessers offside, and how many of the Rangers players are?
Yeah, he's a mile offside, unfortunately, from Rangers' point of view. I mean, credit that Spurs defence. They weren't particularly good at marking, but you have to say their offside line was like it was on a string, wasn't it? They all moved up as one there, and there were 3 Rangers players stood at least 2 yards offside. So although Ibrox was celebrating for a few seconds, the flag went up quickly, and that was Pepe. But Rangers pressing here. It's almost like they've suddenly woken up and realised they can actually pick the game off Spurs, and they've won the ball back here as well.
And they've won a free kick. Is the referee going to give it? Yes, he is. Almost very close. It's a couple of yards inside, of course, to the corner flag on the right-hand side, Bergvall. And I always feel a little bit sorry sometimes, because is it poor play from Bergvall? Yes. With the pass out on the foul? Yes. But when you want to play like that, like Postecoglou does, you almost have to just accept those mistakes, because you do ask a lot of your players to do that.
You do. I mean, it's, as I say, the amount of possession lost because of teams always having to play out from the back. I mean, the idea of having that as a basis for your play is fine, but there should always be that emergency button where you can just hoof it long to get away from danger, and it's happening too much here with teams losing the ball too easily. But this is a great chance now here with Tavernier waiting to take the free kick.
87.5 minutes on the clock, and Rangers get a goal and regain their lead. It's into the front post, headed away. Barron, I thought he was thinking he was going to fall for him and try to go for striker goal. Hefty looks to dink it out back to the right-hand side, headed away by Son. Tavernier, will he let it go out for a throwing? No, he does pick the ball up, does the Rangers captain. Back to Diamande, further forward on that right-hand side, fakes it back onto his left, into Tavernier. Further wide, and Hefty, quite a second half, because he was very lively in the first. Now the forward come Rangers again, ball dinked in, but Pape Sarr will clear it away. It's actually not just a clearance, it's a lovely ball out to Kulusevski. He likes his chances against Hefty, but again that's his problem at first. He gets away from his defender and then doesn't have that real pace to burst away like perhaps Brennan Johnson does, but he does have the technical abilities. I think maybe Brennan Johnson's a great footballer, but if you probably give Kulusevski the pace of Brennan Johnson, he'd be a different animal and beast on that right-hand side.
It'd be a very, very difficult player to contain then. It's difficult enough as it is, but with that, it really would be something too much. Rangers just trying to play the ball out. I think he has gone out of play as he tries to start a run here down the left-hand side here. Fraser. So we'll be back for a throw to Spurs inside the Rangers half. And with a minute to go before we hit injury time, it's almost like that. Those last few minutes is like a reminder from Rangers to Spurs that, yeah, you've been on top since that equaliser, but we can still nick this game from you as well.
Still opportunities for both sides. Bergvall looks to switch it from right to left. Lovely pass, lovely first touch by Son. That's a good ball into the box to Udoka. Plays it back to Madison. Poor first touch for his stand-up. Puts a ball into the box for Solanke. Header into the arms of Butland. That was opening up there for a Madison shot, and for a player of his standard with his fantastic first touch. And needs to be better, because if that's a better first touch, that really opens up there for a strike at goal. Then just gets it caught under his feet there, and he puts a good cross in. And maybe if Solanke can get a bit more power on that probably does beat Butland, but the cross wasn't the best, his header wasn't the best, and Butland does well to come away with it. But still, we're just about to approach 90th minute, waiting for added time. There's still chances and there's still goals in this game if either team can take advantage.
No, absolutely, and I think that now that chance for Spurs, I mean, he wasn't really able to get his head onto that one, Dominic Solanke, but you can see how angry Philippe Clement is there. He's trying to get something, communicate something to his coaches there on the bench. Wait to see our fourth official now, who's just going to confirm. I'm thinking it's going to be, I was thinking 4 or 5. It's just 3 minutes. They really do like to finish on time in UEFA competitions. I mean, if this was a Premier League game, probably would have had 3 or 4 minutes in the first and probably about 5 or 6 in the second.
Maybe it's because you came out a bit late, boys, so we're going to take some time away from you. Rangers have thrown the ball there. No, they haven't. Kulusevski has been away with one there, but does mean until that Spurs get the free kick. Will they take it short? They will, with Sarr out to Porro. He'll look to whip one, bend one in first time. Well, that catching practice there for Butland. Of course, Solanke's added that presence in the box, but the ball needs to be a little bit better there. Butland, once again, I think he's just saying, just everyone get forward. We're just going to slow this down. There's nothing for us to play out from the back. There's nothing for us to make any mistakes, just as, unfortunately, Spurs have when you do play that kind of football. Long forward, goes from goalkeeper to goalkeeper. Foster makes an absolute meal of that. Dessers picks it up. There's a lot of Spurs players back, though, to ensure nothing really goes wrong. But Rangers still have the ball. Floated into the back post. Strike a goal. It doesn't actually. A good block there. And there's a Spurs player down in the area. Is it Maddison who's taken the knock? He does well to come back there. Nothing malicious, but Maddison there. I think if anything, Bergvall's just saying to him, get up, we need to see this game out. Barron there would have fallen at an awkward height, but he had a chance.
He's going for it, Barron. It's a high ball, but at the same time, he gets far too much of Maddison there. And with that free kick, it looks like it's probably going to be taking this thing out the rest of the game now.
You would probably think so. 90 seconds of the 3 minutes played. We're halfway there. Bergvall, again, with Spurs playing out from the back. It's always risky, but once you beat that press, that's the high risk, high reward. They've beaten in the press, but usually I think because maybe both teams don't want to put as much into this game as they have about coming away with something. It looks like we are destined for 1-1 and goal apiece, a point apiece. Son on the left-hand side brings it further in. Still, I think Rangers will be lurking and wanting a goal, where I think Spurs now are more happy for this last 60 seconds, or just under, I should say, to just get on the ball and knock it around, ensure that Rangers don't score. With Porro, lovely flick to Kulusevski. They want a goal as well, those Spurs, as I do say that's a poor pass. Now, and Rangers, the counter-attack might be on. They're coming forward. There's only Dessers further forward. Spurs are getting players back. Goes to Dessers. 30 seconds of the 3 minutes left. Hefty brings it further on the left and comes away with the ball. It could be the last chance saloon if Rangers want on 3 points. Hefty won a free kick. There he has. Well, that was more maybe of a collision between Solanke and Hefty. And this is a set piece 10-15 yards into Spurs' half. You think this is right, we're going to put everyone up there, put it in the box. I don't think they're going to do that. I'm just waiting for what they're going to do, because you thought they'll just throw it up because this is the last chance, but I don't think they're going to do that. Rangers,
well, have they decided that it's not worth the risk, that it's probably just better just to make sure that they've drawn this game and not given it away? I mean, Rangers really are taking a very long time over this, and in fact they're taking so long that it's going to be all over. Yeah,
it's finished there, and I thought Spurs might have been under attack that one last time, but they aren't. What a game we've had. We do come away, probably in the end evens itself out of points apiece. Rangers did take the lead early on, but a good Kulusevski goal did finish it off. Full time at Ibrox, Rangers 1, Spurs 1.